There were 4 of us around the table for Thanksgiving that night. My wife and me and another couple, Mary and Jim, who were getting divorced. Then, the man with no hands came to the front door. He was a friend of my wife. He was here for Thanksgiving too. A hook-handed man in my house is not something I look forward to. Hello, he said.
Hello?
I said that. I showed him in. We made room for him at the table. I felt like I should warn that our other 2 guests were getting divorced. I didn't, though. I didn't have time to warn Mary and Jim about the hooks, either.
This is my wife's friend.
I said. I hoped no one would comment on his hands. Nobody did. Jim was sitting far away from Mary. Mary was also sitting far away from Jim. A bottle of gin was between them.
So you like gin?
The hook-handed man said, with his hooks pointing. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Maybe it didn't matter.
Honey, would you carve the turkey?
My wife asked. I hate her. I said. I got out my knife. I stuck a large fork in part of the turkey. I went back and forth with the knife. Soon the turkey was mostly cut. We ate and we drank. The hook-handed man speared his turkey like a savage.
Do you have any more gin?
Mary asked.
I believe so.
I said. It was in the cupboard, so I had to get up to get it. That is what you're supposed to do when your wife invites guests over.
So, when you finish your divorce?
My wife asked. She was a drunk and not smart to begin with. I looked at Jim and Mary as if to say, I'm sorry, my wife is a drunk and not smart to begin with. Jim answered.
Next week it's final. I don't want it to happen. I told her I still love her. Last week at our court date, I threw a glass of water against the wall to show her how much I love her.
I didn't want to hear about this, but he was getting divorced, and sometimes that gave him the right. Mary had been tracing her finger on the table. She stopped and said,
Will you please, please, please be quiet, please?
Jim looked at her. Mary continued.
Jim, throwing a glass against the wall is not love. You wouldn't know love if it bit you in the face.
I know love!
Jim shouted. He threw a bottle of gin. We all sat quiet for a little bit. The hook-handed man quietly cleaned one hook.
I should go. I have an important day tomorrow.
The hook-handed man said. I didn't care. My wife cared, though.
No, stay, we got more gin.
She said. She gave me a stare that said, honey, go get the gin. I did not want to get up again. I also did not want to talk about love, especially with people who don't know what they're talking about when they talk about love. And even if they did, it would not be the type of love I would want to talk about. Later in bed, my wife will say she wants to talk about the love that was talked about at dinner, and I will tell her to shut up.